truth, because with comparison and the negative feelings that come along with it, there's a negative self, I guess, talk, whatever it is. Well, I didn't do that, so I'm not good enough. My team doesn't look like that, so this must not be right for me. Or, man, I can't even get my 2 people, and this person's ranking up to platinum in a day. Like, what is wrong with me? So comparison is normal, but you need to grab those negative thoughts and you need to reject them because they're not true. Everybody's journey, the destination, the goal might be the same, but the journey is going to look different. And I am going to tell you, if you have a slower start or a slower go, please, we need you. We need your story. We need your experience. We need you to hang tight and be consistent, because your story is going to help so many people. So please do not give up. I tried to have a girl, her name's Valerie Cantu. I asked her a couple months ago to go live in the movement page, because her story of consistency and perseverance, I think it was, I don't know, 10 months to bronze or something. And she struggled for so long. And then it was like a boom, boom, rank up type of situation, only because she continuously let people know that her business was still open. And that's really important. So 7 months to bronze. Yeah, Kate. And then she was like, boom, boom, gold. Like, it was one catch, right? One flame. And then it was like, it blows up. You never know when that's going to happen for you. And one of my biggest tips on finding leaders, you've got to think, okay, so I always take it back to, I was a leader in another company. I knew what I had to offer was valuable. I knew that I was going to work really, really hard. And I knew that I was going to try to find somebody who could take me where I needed to go. We all want to recruit people like that, right? We all want to recruit somebody that is just going to come in, they're going to work hard, they're going to bring the fire, they've got influence. We all want somebody like that on our team. But you have to think, am I the kind of leader, or am I portraying to be the kind of leader that a leader I want to attract would look for? Do you possess, or are you, showing that you possess the qualities that somebody that you would love to attract is looking for? And so that's important. You need to take a step back and you need to look, what am I putting out there? Am I being consistent? Am I letting people know that no matter what, my business is open? Am I being confident? Regardless of how you feel, and this is why we can't let those negative self-talk when it comes along with comparison or anything else, that's why we can't let those thoughts fester. We can't let them take over, and we cannot accept them as truth, because you need to have confidence. I chose Tara. Most of y'all know my upline is Tara. She's not my immediate upline, because my immediate upline, her name is Chastity. She's probably the sweetest, kindest, most amazing person in the entire world. She doesn't actively work Q, which is great, but she connected me to Tara because she did such a stellar job at edifying her upline and using that as a recruiting tool. I signed up with Chastity to have access to Tara. Tara and I had never, ever met. We were not friends on Facebook. She had no idea who I was. I had never talked to her before. But when I scanned her Facebook page, I thought a couple things. This girl knows what she's talking about. She's extremely confident. I know that she could take me where I want to go, because I felt like she could explain it to me how she could take me where I wanted to go. And everything on her page was win after win after win. Not her own personal wins, but people on her team's wins. But you know what, you guys? I wouldn't have been able to tell you if those people were actually on her team or not. All I saw was people ranking up, and I assumed they were on her team. And so I thought, wow, this team's in crazy momentum. Now, I think they really were, but my point is, if you don't have a lot of personal ambassadors ranking up left and right, grab from Katie's, grab from Ashley's, grab from your sidelines, and start to show people that we are winning here at Q. It doesn't have to be somebody you signed up, but you need to portray that there's momentum and there's excitement and there are wins happening, because big leaders, the people that you are looking for that. And you need to show them that we have that here. And you need to be confident, and you need to be consistent, and your doors need to be open. So and you need to build relationships with the people that you would love to attract. And so go to your friends list, or go to your list, whatever list you're working off of, and find those people that kind of give you butterflies when you think about like, ooh, like this person's so influential, or this person is, oh, it's just like, oh, that person gives me butterflies. Those are the kinds of people that you need to start rubbing elbows with. You need to start building relationships with. You need to get on their radar, because those are the kinds of people that you want to recruit into the business. And you have to learn how to leverage and edify your upline. Katie, Ashley, whoever it is, you need to learn how to edify them to use as a recruiting tool. So very similar to what my friend Chastity did with Tara. Chastity was not making the amount of money that I had to make in order to pay our bills. She wasn't making that when I joined her. I get that objection all the time from people, but I'm not making money. So how am I going to talk to other people making money? It doesn't matter. We all come into this business making $0. And in order to make money, we have to recruit people. So what's first, the chicken or the egg? Your biggest tool is the fact that your two leaders on this call are making $8,000 a month. That's your biggest recruiting tool. My friend Katie, you'll never believe it. She's never done this industry before. She's actually got another job and 2 young kids. This is like her side gig, and she's making 6 figures a month here. And she is going to teach me how to do the same thing. And I think it'd be really fun to do this together. I think it could really bless your family. Are you open to just checking it out? Right? Like, use her as leverage, or Ashley, because they are the same rank. They're both gold and they're both amazing. Use their story to leverage finding people to join your business, and kind of pulling in some more influential people that you can then start to use those success as almost like a step, right? Okay, so that's attracting leaders. I don't know if I should be reading the comments yet.
Now I'll shout out questions if you want. I know.
Oh, that's so cool, Jessica. I love that. She made a post about making money and haven't made a cent yet, but somebody reached out wanting to join me. It works. Yes. And you're putting that out there. You are literally putting out there what somebody who would want to make money wants to see. People like me, people like Ashley, and people like Katie want to make money. And so I want to see that there is an opportunity to make money here. And it's not bad to talk about that. And it doesn't make you look greedy or weird. It doesn't. It attracts the people you probably want to attract anyways. So don't be scared to do that. Don't be scared to talk wins, and don't be scared to talk excitement, and don't be scared to talk money, and don't be scared to talk any of those things, because it's going to attract people that you want to attract. Okay. Let's talk a little bit about expanding your network and using groups, because it's so funny, because that's actually how Katie and I got connected. And when I first started doing this, I actually wasn't even in network marketing when I started joining moms groups. I did it because I had I think I was pregnant with my first pregnancy. I had no idea what was happening to my body, and I wanted to talk to other people to make sure that it was normal. And I found these due date groups with a bunch of other women who were due at the same time I was, and we started to connect and build relationships and bond with each other. We went through newborn phase together. And it was such a cool community of like-minded people sharing a common life stage. And then I got pregnant with my second. I joined another group. When I was in that group, did the same thing, built relationships. When I was in that group, Katie, I think that's the one we were in together, right? Okay. somebody, I can't remember who it was, somebody in that group did some sort of post. I was in church, literally, I was in church when this happened. Who wants to be friends? I want to be friends with you guys. Who's okay being friended? And I came out of church with like 150 friend requests from this mom group. And I was like, what's happening? And then I started to accept these friend requests and I was like, holy, like I just made a bunch of friends that I can now like actually build relationships with. I was doing a business at that point, and a little light bulb went off, and I went to my other mom's group and I said, hey, we've been friends in here for 4 years. Who wants to take this Facebook official and be friends like outside of this group? And I think I added 600 people just from doing that. And so then I became very intentional about building relationships in these groups, not talking business, but becoming somebody who was trusted, who added value, who, I'd make suggestions, I would be encouraging, I would pray for people, I would, if somebody was looking for, I think I even like ran like a present drive during Christmas, like gathering a bunch of people who wanted to donate and then gathering a bunch of people who needed presents and like coordinating that. I found ways to get out there, get known, be trusted, add value. And then if people were open, I took the friendship onto my normal Facebook page where I continued to build that relationship, and then they were going to start seeing my business posts. I have probably signed up 100 women that I've met strictly through these Facebook moms groups that I've never met in real life from all over the US, simply because I spent some extra time and attention building relationships and bringing it onto my Facebook page. Okay, so this is a great way, especially if you are a busy mom like me, who can't leave the house and do a bunch of play dates and go do a bunch of stuff and meet people in real life. This is a great way to start making new connections and making new relationships without ever even leaving your house. Okay, so not all of you guys are going to have due date groups or mom groups that you can join, but there are groups on Facebook. And think about, okay, we all like to post about Q, of course. What else do you like to post about? What else are you passionate about? What else can you talk about? Or what does your life look like outside of Q? Those are the kinds of groups that you want to start finding. I'm having a hard time thinking of any other ones, but I don't know. Some people probably like a intermittent fasting group or homeschooling mom group, or I don't know, CrossFit group. I'm just trying to pull stuff out. You've got to figure out what your thing is. The trick is you do not want to join a group that is tens of thousands of members large. You're going to get lost. There's too many people to actually build connections. If you can find a group that's somewhere between 500 to 1,000 members, that's good. That's a good group of enough people, but also not too many people. And you want to make sure that there's at least a few posts a day so that you know that people are actually active in there and you're not joining just like a dead group that's not doing anything. Once you find the groups that you want to be in, you're going to have to start getting really intentional. Add it to your IPA every single day to start getting your name out there. Start making posts about what the group is. So if it's an intermittent fasting group, I don't know. I don't get intermittent fasting, so I'm not going to say that. I'm going to stick to the moms groups because I know what that is. So I could get in this group, and the first thing I could do is introduce myself. My name's Francesca. I've got 4 kids. I live in Florida. I have been so isolated during COVID. It's so great to connect to other moms. I'm just really excited to be here. Tell me about yourself. And then, put it out there. Here I am. I'm Francesca. So the next day I might make another post. Hey, I'm really looking for suggestions on baby food that you like, that's organic and natural. What are your suggestions? Or, man, I'm having a really hard time finding a pacifier that my baby will take. What worked for you? It doesn't matter. Whatever it is, the point is you're gonna start getting your name out there so that people start recognizing your name and who you are. There is something about recognition and trust. they're going to start seeing your name, recognizing your name, and they're going to just kind of start feeling like they know you. And you want to also be really intentional about adding value to the other posts that are on the page. So if somebody's asking a question, give your 2 cents and give your feedback and give your suggestions. Just start getting really active in this group. And after a little while, when you feel like you've been doing that for a little bit and you feel like you have really gotten your name out there, do some sort of crazy thing, like I said. So when I was pregnant with Shepherd, if you guys have seen anything of my Facebook post, Shepherd, when he was born, I was really into working out, and hopefully I'll get back there someday. But at that time, I really was. And the way that I felt like I could connect and add value and bring people on into my realm was by starting a workout group for new moms. So I said, hey, I'm starting a workout group for moms. This is strictly for, encouragement and accountability. If you want to be in this group, comment below and I'll add you. Every single person that commented below that they wanted to be in the group, I added them as a friend and I added them to the Facebook group. I added about 800 people to my Facebook just by doing that. You don't have to create a new group, but you can even say something like, yeah, Peloton groups, Ashley. If I'd ever ride my Peloton that is over there in the corner, Peloton groups, that's perfect. You could even say something like, hey, 2020 has been really hard on us. We are all probably really isolated and lonely. Is anybody open to connecting and making new relationships? If so, please comment below and I would love to add you as a friend. Or I see it all the time. Hey, I am trying to grow my Instagram and I'd love to follow more people on Instagram. If you want to follow each other, drop your Instagram name below and let's follow one another. That works great too. You're just finding a way to connect with the people in the group who want to be connected with. And then once you bring them onto your page, you've just got to be a little bit more intentional then to continue to connect with them, comment on their stuff. If you see that they went on vacation, message them, hey, wow, that looked really beautiful. Where did you guys go? Like, ask questions, just get to know them. And at some point, they're going to know you enough to where you can invite them. You've warmed up a cold market, and now you've got all of these new people. You've got hundreds of new people that are now a warm market ready for you to invite to an opportunity call, or to check out the compensation plan video, or to tell them Katie's story or Ashley's story, and see if they'd be open to just learning a little bit more. But those are the ways that you're going to take a completely cold group of people, make them, into a warm market, and have all of these new people to be able to reach out to. And you consistently do that. And literally, I've been in this industry for 6.5 years, and I still sign people up. I still have people to talk to. When people say they've talked to every single person, they don't have anyone else to talk to anymore, I'm like, there's no way. There's no way. We should always have a group of people that we've never talked to about Q before that we can approach. So, okay, let me look at the comments, but I'm happy to answer questions. Or Katie, Ashley, if you feel like I missed anything, please let me know.
Does anybody have any questions now that we have Fran in a group of 20 people, which is pretty unheard of? Don't be shy if you guys have questions. Feel free to.
I have a question for you, Fran. How do you recommend, like after being in a couple months, if you have a couple ambassadors who start to hit that wall of the burnout, keeping some positive momentum going? And I wouldn't say as like, I mean, a little bit of it would be comparison, but it's a lot of negativity, and it sucks me dry, just like trying to keep her motivated and trying to keep her positive. And I in my gut, I know the reason she's probably not cut out for this. And I have a feeling, like I don't want her to burn out. Like I want to keep her motivated. Do you have suggestions for keeping your smaller teams positive and going?
Yeah, I mean, the number one like what I recognize the most in a team, like a smaller team who's starting to get negative or feel like they're not moving forward, is just a lack of recruiting. So a lack of bringing new blood in and new excitement in. And so I would really take a step back and look at that. And if they're not recruiting, I would try to diagnose, like, hey, what are you doing every day? Or what are your reach outs like? Do you want to send me some voice messages? Are they adding you to three-way chats? If they're not adding you to three-way chats or three-way calls, they're not talking to enough people. They're not actually reaching out, and kind of like try to diagnose and point it more into like a solution focused conversation if they're willing to do that. Now, if they're not willing to do that and it's always negative and it's always kind of draining to you, then I would just say that you need to put up some boundaries around yourself to protect yourself from that. Because as your team gets bigger, there's going to be more and more people doing that with you, that you literally, you have to put up a wall so that that does not seep in and affect you. Like, somebody could, you would, I mean, die at the messages I get of different things of like, I don't know if they think I like run the system or what, like run Q, or I don't even know, but I'm just like, wow, I wish I had that kind of power. But like those kinds of messages, like I can't let that really seep in and affect me, or it's going to throw me off my game. So you might have to learn how to put up some boundaries with that as well. But I would always just kind of try to help diagnose and push them towards a solution. And then for you as well, if you're spending too much time focusing on that, it might be, and maybe you are, so I really don't know. If I'm totally off base, just let me know. But you might need to start bringing in more new people so that you don't really have time to focus on the people who aren't moving. Does that make sense?
Yep. Thank you.
Yes. Anybody else? What suggestions do you have for people already running groups to introduce Q and post without being too salesy or pushy? For people already running groups. You mean, Jennifer, you mean if you're in groups, how to bring it up in a group, or what do you mean? Because if that's what you mean, I wouldn't actually bring up Q in the Facebook group, or you'll probably get kicked out. You actually run a group. Okay, so what I would suggest, Jennifer, not bringing up Q in a group, my suggestion would be to bring people from your group onto your personal Facebook page. They'll be able to see your post that way. So it's attraction marketing. And then once you start to, interact with them a little bit outside of the group on your Facebook page, then you can actually message them and invite them. But I never bring up business in an actual Facebook group.
I have a question that I get. What is your opinion as far as what works better? Do you start with inviting people to our op calls, or do you find it more beneficial going straight to a three-way chat? I feel like people we're so excited that somebody's interested that we kind of skip over the system and we just instantly want to go to like a one-on-one Zoom with our sponsor type of thing. Is that based on who maybe the prospect is and their caliber of influence maybe? Or do you always say op call, three-way chat, that type of system?
I do. I always do an op call. And if somebody wants me to get in a chat with them, I always ask, have they watched an op call yet? Because I don't want to start from scratch with somebody who has no idea what's going on. I want them to be pre-screened in the sense that they know what this is about. They've seen a little bit of the products, a little bit of the business, and they're still really interested in chatting. It's so much easier for your upline to come in and effectively answer questions and close when they have a baseline. It's really difficult when they don't know anything and they're like kind of skeptical, not even sure if they know, they're kind of defensive. Just getting them through an op call first where they can watch it and get a good baseline is going to settle defenses, and they're going to come into that call, that three-way chat or that three-way call, really excited to learn more, and they're going to have questions. So for me, I won't start a three-way chat with the person I'm doing my chats with unless they've watched an op call, and I prefer if people don't add me to one. I mean, certain situations, but generally speaking, until they have watched one. So that's what I do.
I have a question.
Oh, good.
Oh,
Yeah,
oh,
hey,
I'm so sorry.
No, this is my baby sister, Fran.
Oh, hi.
Hi.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. So I just recently learned from Kelly's call the other day about the oh gosh, the what's it called? Oh my gosh, it just left my mind. The checklist.
Oh yeah, okay.
And so the screening. So when does that play a part? So if I have someone that's like, okay, I'm interested, do I just go from that to the opt call? And then from there, do I send them that checklist directly, or do I ask them those questions? Like, how would that work?
Yeah, so this is what I would do. Somebody's interested, they watch an op call, they're still interested. You get them in a chat or a call with your sponsor. Make sure all questions are answered. When it is time to close and they're like, hey, I'm in, that's when you want to make sure that they are willing to purchase their products. They're willing to be on an auto ship. They're willing to launch. They're willing to reach out to people, do their Fab Five. That's kind of when you do that screening. You don't do it before, or it could scare them away until they're like actually closed. But once all of that process, it's literally what you're going to do right before you send your link and the directions to sign up. So
Okay. Thank you. Okay. That
You're
makes so much
welcome.
more sense.
That's a great question.
Okay, I was going to ask a question because I know we have some new people on here, including myself, not me, myself, but like my sister and whatnot. But thinking back to when you, even with your first company, there, for somebody who's just coming into network marketing, what is the one thing that you would suggest to get out of their own way in talking about the opportunity, especially if, say, they're just getting started on our product, so they haven't maybe felt the amazing benefits. If they say they just signed up and started, instead of being a customer first, they just got really excited to do the business and they haven't been on the products for 60, 90 days. And now they want to start making money. Like, what is like a best practices tip to start talking to people? Because I know I hear it, and I'm sure you have. I know Katie has, Ashley has, where it's like, what do I do? I'm so concerned about what people are going to think, or I don't know who to talk to. Like, what would you suggest?
Yeah, well, you like even touched on it when you were explaining it. They got so excited that they just signed up. They were ready to go. They were ready to make money. Like, that is the feeling that you have to bottle. Like, you have to bottle that feeling, because that is what is going to carry you. Really, like, you've got to think, like, what drew you to this company so much so that you actually invested in it. You haven't even tried your products yet, and you're ready to go. There are people out there who are going to feel the same way you do, but your confidence is going to draw them in. Now, people are waiting for somebody to feel, or like even let off the sense that they feel like this is weird or like not confident. So when you say things like, no pressure, it's totally up to you, it's not a big deal if you don't want to, I totally get it. So it's like, they're like, why is she being so weird about this? Like, is this a weird thing? Don't do that. Ignorance on fire. Be excited. What's that feeling that drew you to this? There are other people out there looking for it. I would literally just grab onto that excitement and go, and don't even think about it. Now, most of us experience those fears of like, what are people going to say? Do I really have to reach out to people? Everybody feels it. The only thing that's going to get you past that is actually doing it. Every time you reach out to somebody and push through that fear, it's going to get easier and easier and easier until it's literally no big deal. And the one thing I do see people, one of the things that I see people make a mistake on is when they're making their list of 100, they talk themselves out of every person on that list. You guys heard Katie say she was never going to do network marketing, but look at her now, she's here. What if I said, and she reached out to me, I'm pretty sure she reached out to me, but what if I said to myself, oh, Katie Tufte would never do network marketing. She would never do anything like this. I've heard her say it. She'd never do it. And I totally passed on the opportunity to sign Katie up into my business. So don't talk yourself out of anybody. Nobody's off the table unless they say to you, I'm not interested. Thank you so much. I'm going to pass. And then you can say, okay, well, I reached out to them, but keep building that relationship. So don't talk yourself out of any names. That's not your job. Yeah. So I don't know if that answers your question, but.
Yay. Well, I know we've gone a little over. I want to respect Fran's time. If nobody has any other questions, Fran, we appreciate you so much. Oh, Kelly, do you want to ask something really quick?
Yeah, I do. So I'm new and I do love the products. And my thing is you were talking about pushing through the fear. So I want to sell the product. And of course I want to sell the business for my own, myself. It's selling the business that is getting in my way right now. Because I want to sell the products and be like, look, this is an amazing opportunity. The products are rad. They totally work. But then when I start getting into, oh, can you watch these videos? Like, I feel like I'm being intrusive. How did you get past that?
Have people told you you're being intrusive, or is that just like a limiting belief? Okay.
It's me.
I'm like, okay, there's a difference. There's like the limiting belief that's holding you back of like, am I being intrusive? And then there's like when nobody's actually said that. So I think are you having success when you ask people, or are you just not even asking?
I haven't even been asking. I did with one of my dear friends, and she had wanted, what was it, Lucy? She wanted a lab report. Was that it, Lucy?
Yeah, she wanted lab reports that we didn't have access to because of our new hemp. So we don't have them up yet. So I think there was just it was a limiting belief. It was just it wasn't something there wasn't even an opportunity. There wasn't even enough time for her to even try the product. So
no, and there wasn't.
I think the friend already had the blinder on.
Got it.
To come to an op call. Even hear about it.
Yeah.
Got it. But Katie's muted.
Sorry. It's so Fran and I actually talked about this a little bit today. The COAs are up, but they're talking about the actual peer-reviewed studies, the absorption, how we had the blood plasma.
Yeah.
Those types of things are what people are looking for that aren't available just yet.
Got it. Yeah. So that might be the way in which you're reaching out to people too. And I would keep it super simple. And I would even do like a voice message and send it to Lucy or send it to Katie or whoever you want to. And really just keep it as simple as, like I said before, like if Katie's doing a call, hey, oh my gosh. Okay. So this is crazy. I never thought I'd be doing anything like this before, but you've got to meet my friend Katie. She's never done anything like this before either. And she's actually working another job and has 2 young kids, but she's literally making $8,000 a month in this side gig that she's doing. And she's training the entire team, or don't say that. Don't say training the entire team. Say she's teaching me how to do the same thing. And I think it would be really fun to do this together. Are you at all open to hear what we have going on? Because she's doing this call tonight. So something super simple like that, where it's really exciting. It's Katie, my mentor, and she is doing all these crazy, insane, awesome things. do you have 30 minutes tonight to just hear what we have going on? Because sometimes if people start asking the questions of like, do you have the lab reports? Do you have this? Do you have that? It's because in our initial conversation or reaching out, we might be leaning a little bit too heavily on products or science, backed by science, that sort of thing. So if you can just tweak like what you're throwing out there, like what you're leading with, you might start getting different responses. So try that. Try something like that.
Okay. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Okay. Well, thank you guys so much, Fran. Thank you. We appreciate you so much. Everybody, like I said, congratulations. You're here because you're doing the work. You're putting in the time. We appreciate you. And just know, like Fran said, Ashley and I are here. I love how she said, send us the voice messages. We can kind of help tweak and constructive criticism. I look back at some of the first messages that I sent and I'm like, oh my gosh. So we're all learning. I'm even still tweaking my messages. Literally today, I sat there and I was like deleting and rewriting. We're all doing it, but that's why we're here to help each other. So just know we're here and we appreciate you guys. Like I said, I hope you have a great night and we will see you guys soon. Bye, you guys. Thank you.
Thank you.